Hello everyone, welcome to the All-American Otaku Show. Welcome to our new subject, fan service. Fan service can mean many things to many different people. Fan service could be a beloved character from another show appearing, another thing from the same type of genre, or something that's entirely, for instance, like Godzilla making an appearance in My Hero Academia movie. But fan service was also commonly known as how to sell sex appeal within anime, manga, as well as sometimes video games. Most people think just fan service is just a female thing or an ecchi thing, where it's women in bikini, breast shots, panties, things like that. But it could also be used the other way around. For example, the anime Free, where they would show strong pecs, six-pack abs of guys, shirt off, nothing but really tight swim trunks. Really guy-on-guy interactions. But on the other side, the female side, sometimes it's girl-on-girl thing, or a character who's in a bikini all the time, or the bikini pops off, or the bottoms pop off. They're naked or indiscriminately like, oh my god, look at that. Fan service could give you interesting things when you're watching anime. You're watching anime and let's say your mom or a girlfriend or a wife or some comes in and it's like action, and suddenly they come in and it's like bikini and or hot springs. A prime example of an anime with fan service appeal is High School DxD. And there is about a guy who's basically a perv trying to get a girlfriend and wants to have a harem like they do in anime and like Tenchimuyo, and as well as others like Rosario Vampire, which we'll get into that later. He finds this cute girl, decides to ask her out, and they go on a date. Her top comes off, revealed to a demon, and tries to kill him. He has memory, oh, this girl tried to kill me, but she was hot. Oh, look at those boobs and things. That sort of thing. And he was like, oh my god, I had this girl try to kill me, but man, was she look good and look cute, and she had a nice this and nice that. And his friends don't know what he's talking about. Eventually, he meets this girl named Riaz, who was a relationship out of convenience. She's ended up, of course, well stacked, and a lot of breast shots and a lot of panty shots and stuff. But doesn't mean fan service anime actually have bad plots. This one has a very inner good plots between demons and demon control and warring factions and such. New powers, new familiars, new people to add to a harem and things like that. But here's the other anime that's known for fan service and surprisingly has a good plot. Rosario Vampire, the anime. This anime starts off with this normal guy. Doesn't get accepted to any high school. And in Japan you got to get accepted to certain high schools just like you do for college. And he finally gets into a high school, but it's a monster high school. First person he meets, or cute girl he meets, happens to be a vampire. Panty shot into there. He falls on top of her. She bites him, tastes his blood, and says, "Oh, you have very nice blood," and so forth. Eventually, ends up with a succubus in there, and eventually ends up being a witch that joins there, an ice queen who controls ice and stuff, not someone who's cold-blooded and cruel or stuff like that. And eventually he finds werewolves that try and get with his vampire girl he likes, and trying to create trouble, as well as ogres and various other things. He tries to stick up to him besides being only human, as that's what you think. Later on, you find he could possibly be more human. It gets 2 seasons. It's a decent anime, decent plot, decent will they, won't they thing. Another anime that has fan service, that has will they, won't they, fits into the love category as well, is Dress Up My Darling. And there you see shots of the main heroine in bikinis and whatnot in various different cosplay, because she wants to aspire to be a great cosplayer. Meets this guy who's pretty much a loner who likes to make dolls, which some people would say, oh, that's a female thing, but his grandfather makes dolls and his father did before him and so forth. He runs into this girl whose name is Marin, who wants to be a cosplayer, and she's like, okay, can you help me make a cosplay? You seem very talented in making clothes for these dolls. And he start making her clothes. You see her in bikinis and on his bed, and he's like freaking, oh my god, she's so hot, and I'm feeling all these feelings for her. Then eventually she starts to feel feelings for him. You have, of course, the big boobed girl who ends up being a cosplayer, but wants to cosplay a man, and she wears this thing where her boobs are pushed together, and eventually it breaks off and so forth. Fan service like that, and fan service has become a normal thing. As many years I've watched anime, it goes into many spurts. There's the fan service spurt, which is still going on, and then there's the isekai, which is another subject for another day about isekai. There's also fan service in an isekai anime called Konosuba, where the goddess wears no underwear, but you don't really see anything like that. But she has skimpy clothes, and you have a character named Night, or Midnight, who likes to be dominated and likes a masochist thing. Of course, they had to give her big boobs and whatnot. And of course, there's the whole joke, this person's flat, this person's this, and so forth and so forth. Common thing in anime as well. As well as you see an anime that's known for fan service, but censored fan service that goes into another plot called Simonetta, a world where dirty jokes don't exist. In this anime, it talks about the dangers of censorship, with the idea using fan service as sort of a weapon. It's a great anime. It talks about the dangers of being suppressed and not going for emotion, even if some of them are sort of perverted, and how they could lead into danger things. For instance, the main character had a crush on a girl, but the girl falls in love with him, but tries too hard to try to get him to do certain things that he is not ready to do. And it shows the dangers of that, being oppressed and not really knowing what to do and know what to do with these complex emotions. Great anime, great story. Another anime that the fan service is a key part is one called Kill la Kill. What this anime It's about these clothes. Clothes are the enemy. Clothes are an alien race and thing that's trying to drive and suck and destroy the life force in you. So, but they give you certain powers. So certain people in this high school got these powers to become more elite by having certain threads, and only one that's up here. And one girl ends up with finding one of these clothes that's up here and an alien goes on her. And when she powers up, you see her in a bikini and things. First, she's like, "Oh my God, they're gonna see my breasts." But she then learns to fight and trying to find out the revenge on who killed my dad, who's behind the plot, and the plot goes and takens as she goes and defeats various different people in various different outfits. Then she meets allies who are anti-clothes called, ironically enough, Nudist Beach. Great anime, highly recommend that one. Now here's Mr. Pat with his manga review on
I'm
Fanservice.
covering uh, manga and about fan service. And today, fan service also has another name called eche, which in Japanese I think is called pervert. So we're gonna really go over the top with stuff here. I'm covering Food Wars, which you think food? Why fan service in that? Well, in this story, the main character, Soma Yukomura, excuse me for butchering this, uh, is thrown a gauntlet by his dad to go to this food school. Well, during these times of eating food and serving people, you think, oh yeah, great, oh yeah, that's great. Well, this one throws you for a loop, but they have what's coined term called foodgasm, which the how they express it, like clothes flying off or oh, this tastes really good and bam. So as far as this goes, it is very much fan service in that. Um, as far as the main character goes, he goes through this whole curriculum of this food school, um, thinking that he himself didn't had a prejudicial view of just a bunch of old people serving food. Well, it is actually a much more cutthroat, and all these schools that all these children trying to one up each other. So as far as the opening speech, Yukimura throws down the gauntlet and says, "I'm gonna be the number one," and everyone just jaw drops and open, and they just start booing and throwing stuff at him. That's just the tip of the iceberg because um, he meets another person that is Nakri, and she's oh my god. He comes across as a rich snob, but she has this thing called God tongue, which makes her have really picky food habits. So during this time, he's trying to always get her to like his meals because apparently when she tried something that was really good, she just become full Sandre and just said, "Oh, gross! You're fired. You kid don't even come here." Well, lucky for him, his dad had connections with the dean of the place, and Yukumura got elected. So the fan service is pretty decent. It's foodgasms. Even the headmaster, which he becomes a judge, is anytime he has his robes fly off and he's like only having his arms and depending on the level of him being nude, it's that's more points to it. I recommend this one because it also has decent amount of aspect of food that is actually very viable to normal cooking. I mean, you look at some stuff and they actually talk about ingredients and how they're made and what helps food with other things. So it's not just pure fan service, it actually has some depth to it. So if this appeals to you, I recommend reading this. It's a really good